Alistair leads you through the scriptures. Cabins are limited, so call today 855-565-5519. That's 855-565-5519. Or log on to deeperfaithcruise.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah, we'll work that out. But we're on air now. Enough of this tomfoolery. I'm joined by my friend and yours, Dr. Michael Huber, who is the founder and creator of Irigo. But when I have him here, we talk about a lot of things. He's not just an MD, he's a chiropractor. Somebody who understands exactly how to use a multitude of different options to treat something. But before I get started with you, Dr. Michael Huber, sure. I stumbled upon this by somebody I'm related to saying, hey, look at this. This is in the midst of COVID and the vaccine and the fraud that the government perpetrated on the people. This is a nurse. I believe it's Lisa Simonelli.
I just retired from a local hospital here. No one believes in the flu shots. My colleagues, I didn't. Because the efficacy, and I won't give you data, you created the data.
Let me clarify. She was a nurse during the COVID pandemic. This is this year.
10% one year, 18% the next, 40% at best. The flu mist you gave to our children from 2 to 8 years for almost 4 years, it never worked, 3%. Oh well, I worked in a hospital where my colleagues, doctors and nurses and medical assistants and patient care and lab, we didn't believe in the flu shot. We were probably at 40%. And then came your mandates. And then came your recommendations. This year, I retired. I'm grateful for that because my soul was sick at what I saw go on. I'm glad I'm retired now because now I can talk to you. Because you know what? While I worked, I couldn't. Because if I did, conflict of interest, I would have lost my job. How did I survive 20 years and never get the flu in that environment? ER, high volume. Was I not on the front lines? Every flu case, 300 people a day. Every flu case, it was me. I never had the flu. You know why? I knew how to wash my hands. I knew how to take vitamin D. I knew how to take elderberry syrup. I don't approve of your flu shot. Now you have pharmacists giving it. You bribe us with cards at Target and you tell us this is free and it's everywhere and get it. They're scare tactics and you should be ashamed. I'm looking around. Some of you are my age, but I'm in a generation where I got 7 shots. 26 years later, my daughter got 10. Her son got probably 60. My new grandson's expected to get 72, and I just watched you add more. I'm appalled. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he fights for us, goes to court for us, for our kids that suffered. His family started Special Olympics. There were no autistic kids. He says that where the 40-year-olds wearing diapers with helmets on at the mall, if you misdiagnose them, if you missed them, because you say they're not vaccines, that they missed them. Where were the special ed classes when people in my generation, there weren't any, because they didn't exist. That's what he says. Do you know, and it's truth, but you know what's going to happen? I have a 10-year-old grandson, and I don't care what you say, that the autism and vaccines don't exist. It does, because I watched a perfectly healthy, beautiful 2-year-old get those shots and become a severe autistic child. And guess what? He will be 40, walking in the mall with a diaper on and a helmet. Thank you for the studies that you don't do.
So they don't do studies.
No.
It's Liz is her first name. I said Lisa. I was wrong. It's Liz. She's a nurse. And that's a very, very, very powerful reality. And now here we are. And thank God Donald Trump won. But now's when I really want to focus on it. And yet, again, I hear more nonsense from both Congress, this ridiculous fraud of a healthcare system called Obamacare, which is the most fascistic policy this country's ever had outside of a payroll tax. It is an absolute fraud to me. But, and you've helped people I know that were forced by their employer to take this vaccine. The reality is, aside from the benefits of what Virago is, and we'll talk about that, this actually can help you eliminate the effects of the spike protein if you're having negative effects, can it not?
It helps. It really does. The bromelain in there helps digest spike protein off the cells in your body. If you get accumulates like in long-term COVID, it binds the quercetin and the hesperetin bind to the spike protein and make it unable to invade your cells. It helps, and these vaccines are terrible, Shaun. They're just. I just read a study. They presented it before Congress on one of the Johnson committees. 57%. They looked at children who've been vaccinated. 57% of the children vaccinated develop chronic disease versus 14% of children who are not vaccinated. They've compared them both. Vaccinations, we have to look at them. MAHA is the first. I am so with MAHA. It's brought a surge in our country for natural approaches, natural things, and to make us think that we're not mind robots to take these damn shots that our kids are getting. What person gets exposed to 37 diseases in their first freaking year of life?
Well, there's a couple of things, right? To me, it's let's really dissect the information in all of these policies, which is why I can't stomach the swindle that's being perpetrated on the American citizens of today. If you just simply look at the way in which you're supposed to calculate life expectancy in this country or in the world, and what the way in which they've cooked it for this many years is they include wars, and they do not calculate for the percentage of growth in life expectancy. And if you go back to life expectancy 100 years and you take it to today and you calculate it correctly, taking out the war, the death of the kids in war, because back, kids die in war, they're teenagers.
Right.
So that hurts the long term. And you look at time throughout history, our life expectancy right now in America is 6 years less than it was before Obamacare. And if you go back to before Vietnam and you take out the wars and you calculate for population, you're about 9 years. So with all these big advancements, congratulations, you suck. You're 9 years worse than you were before Chicago stole the election for JFK.
Well, that's because we've developed chronic diseases. We are so big on chronic diseases, and where are they coming from? I personally, and it's showing, like just in this study, 57% of the kids developing them. These chronic diseases are killing us, and they're also, remember, chronic disease, it's just not your diabetes and your hypertension and that kind of stuff. It's your autoimmunes. Your body's constantly under an immune hyper response.
Well, you know what never made sense to me as just a layperson? I'm putting oil in my body. All these pills are oil. They're petroleum based. You don't have to read the book Rockefeller Controlling the Game, although I think you should. But when you look at the bastardization of medicine in this country, it traces back to big oil, Rockefeller. Why are we making pills and drugs and shots out of oil? I don't think, is oil good for me? Should I go drink some 10W30? I'm getting older. Should I make it 5W30? What the frack is going on here? And you have all these paid for doctors and scientists who have a monopoly on all of it. And that's why for decades, they used to call what you do a hippie. Congratulations, you're a hippie, Doc.
Right.
You're talking about natural, organic products. And I know this from my skincare company. This is the only thing that I'll put in my body. I am not going to put out, barring an emergency, I'm not putting any of this nonsense in me.
You don't need to.
And I don't think anybody does. And the idea that we are forcing people to do this with fascism, why doesn't this get the play it should? And if I were one of these people, not only would I call you and get this spike protein out of my frickin' body, I would go after everybody that forced me to do it. Are you amazed at how complacent the American is? that was forced into this bull dung?
Well, they were brainwashed, Shaun. They didn't know what they were getting into. They were lied to. They said, "Oh, this is safe. There's nothing wrong," and people were dropping like flies from the COVID shot. It was terrible. It brings on diseases and infertility.
But that lady just said 67 vaccines to a baby.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, Shaun. How many, when you're a baby, do you get exposed to 67 diseases all at once? It overwhelms your immune system.
Yeah.
And not only that, they're putting it in your arm. Those aren't the way the body's exposed to those diseases. It's through the oral pharynx. It comes through, so the body has a natural way to adapt to that virus.
I mean, especially if your mother's not a gutter rat Democrat, you're not exposed to that stuff. I mean, I could see something, but I mean, here, at a certain point, the people who are victims of this, aside from seeking help and alternatives, aren't they going to have to fight for their right to not be a victim of big pharma and the the medical industrial complex? It is a medical industrial complex.
They lie to us constantly.
Well, the whole thing, I'll never forget in the 60s, watching Milton Friedman talk about the American Heart Association and the rules and regulations and the constant opinion that was bought and extorted out of doctors back then for different things that were affected. So times that by 1,000 and you might be close to where we are today. But ultimately, don't we have to look at the absolute data? You haven't improved anything. In fact, you've made it much worse.
True. They've made it worse. And they're making it worse because there's profit in chronic disease. That you are dependent upon them now to live.
No doctor's going to make a nickel on me.
Yeah, if you're healthy, where are they going to do?
Well,
I mean, they don't make money off of natural supplements and natural formulas and things. Those are cheap and they're all over the counter. They can't make money, and they're not made from petroleum. And how many people have red dye deficiency syndromes? It doesn't exist, but they pump it into our food, and they make us eat it, and it kills us.
Now, RFK Jr., thank God. Thank God we're in the position we're in. And he's made some fantastic changes. Yet I cannot help but notice the massive resistance of those changes by, once again, lobbied poor politicians who just happen to be vast majority of Democrats.
Correct.
But there are Republicans in there. And at a certain point, the Jenny McCarthy's, who I love, by the way, Hollywood actress, very successful. I watched an interview this weekend. She said, well, there's a tremendous amount of Hollywood celebrities who are ecstatic that RFK is doing what he's doing. How much longer do we have to put up with cowards rather than the people that want to stand on their feet and say, it's over? I don't want to hear a fracking thing. I mean, I just watched a commercial, and it was a product, and it came up Pfizer. Get the hell. I don't want anything. Nothing Pfizer. My offer to you is this: nothing. And I know I'm not alone. People might not want to say it the way I say it, but they believe it the way I believe it.
Well, the American people, they have to say no. And when they're forced to, sue. You got to take them to court. You can't listen. They say abortion, my body, my choice. When it comes to your body on shots, oh no, all of a sudden it's not your body, it's the government's, and they can force you to do any damn thing they want you to do.
So, I was going to do, because we have a vacation, right? The studio, a lot of guys got to take. I'm the only guy unhappy about vacation. But the reason is, There is so much abuse we have been forced to take under the last administration of that moron and those fascist pigs that forced all of this down our throat, that when you get to this aspect of changing the trajectory of our family, our life, and our loved ones, I'm watching people I love, take it or you lose your job. It's surreal to me, the quiet, natural way they went into it. But I do think that now the evidence is proving it out, and we need to constantly show and expose the difference between people who went the way that you and I and millions and hundreds of millions of people believe, not introducing an oil-based pharmaceutical into our life, refusing to do it, and ultimately the data has to win because it already did win. It's just not getting covered.
Well, Shaun, the data was there for hydroxychloroquine. The data was there for ivermectin, but we didn't have control of the media. We didn't have control of the courts, and we didn't have control of the FDA. And
can you imagine if we look at cancer?
Yeah. Oh, wait. That's what Kennedy is so important, because now we have somebody on our side to get the FDA and the AMA under control, that they don't have this rotating. I'm going to be on the board of Pfizer, and then I'm going to the FDA.
Oh, they make me sick.
This whole rotating constant. Please. Oh, I'm going to have my drug approved. I'm going to be on the FDA board next year, so let's put it through when I'm on the board. This kind of crap. It's an old boys society, and they've done this for years. I've never been vaccinated, Shaun. I grew up unvaccinated, and I lived. Okay.
Yeah, you look pretty good. And, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean this in the best of ways. But I'm guessing you were born before Kennedy stole the election in 1960.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right,
yep.
right.
Okay. And believe me, and I grew up in medicine. I really did. I started working in medicine when I was 15 years old. I became a surgical assistant in research.
Wow.
And
I
worked with a doctor called Dr. Andrew Ivy. You remember Otto Kerner?
Oh, yes, I do. I do know Otto Kerner.
Okay. There was a drug, an anti-cancer drug called carbamazepine.
Yeah.
Okay.
What year is that? Because I heard about it when I was a kid. I heard about it. I remember my family talking about him.
I was involved with that as a teenager.
Yes.
And carbamazepine was only allowed in the state of Illinois because Otto Kerner's daughter was on it, and it was banned in all 40 other states. And but he had it here, and Dr. Andrew Ivy developed it. Now, Ivy was no bozo. The man was vice president of the University of Illinois Medical School. He developed the drug compazine and Dramamine. He was a world leader in peptic ulcer disease, and they went after him like They smashed his lab. They raided the FDA. This is when the AMA had henchmen, and they kick your butt. And they
nothing's more medical than a good ass kicking. I'll break that fracking knee and reset it for you. I like that.
And they smashed his lab because he was offered money for the drug, and he told them to go pound sand because he was giving it away, and they wanted to put it on the shelf and bury it. So it got so bad. I mean, I don't tell this story to many people, Shaun.
That's all right.
His wife,
just me, you, and Squirrel. Shoot.
His wife fell and hurt her hip. And I had access to a portable x-ray machine. He called me. I was only 18, 17 at the time. He called me, can you come over and x-ray my wife?
Oh, boy.
And
this
I
is
said,
starting
why?
to sound like an Epstein Island story. Nobody ends up in a hot tub, do they?
I said, why?
Go ahead.
And he said, because I'm afraid she may have broke her hip. And he said, I'm afraid if I put her in the hospital, they'll kill her.
Wow.
So I x-rayed her, and luckily she didn't break her hip. That's how bad it was back in the 60s.
Yeah. Do you know when you were talking about Otto Kerner, because he died of lung cancer,
right?
And was it Ogilvy that was right after him?
I believe so.
So, because my family, this is the last time they ever got involved in politics. They all got involved with Ogilvy, who at the time was a Republican.
Yeah.
And he was going to change things in Illinois, and he's the moron that double-crossed everybody, and put the tolls in. And my family never voted again. I got guys that went 50. Screw that son of a gun. But when you look back at these eras, at least then, Otto Kerner, at least he stood for something. He wanted Illinoisans to be healthy, to be have options.
Well, his daughter was
back.
alive because of carbamazepine.
Yeah.
And then I believe she died after that because they.
Well, you know what's fascinating about this ivermectin? Because I have a skincare company, right? And when you talk about skincare, most people ignore skin, right? Even though it's the largest organ of your body, right? And dry spots, and me, I'm in the sun. I think I'm George Hamilton, just a little short. So when you look at what happens with these, I'm doing research, and it's ivermectin. So I buy it. I buy the ivermectin, and I mix it in with the cream. And it's fantastic. No dry spots. I'm watching things disappear. So I tell the guy in my lab that makes it, I said, I want to put ivermectin. Let's figure out how we could do it. He goes, well, listen, now we could do it because, ivermectin's cheap.
Yeah, but you
got to send it to the FDA.
Yeah.
And now you're talking years and hundreds of thousands. I said, forget it. It's amazing how they manipulate that product, which is dirt cheap.
Oh, yeah.
From improving these poor people who need it, who it will help. The system is set up against the best interest of the citizen. Now, you heard my squirrel say 1 minute. I could talk to you forever, but I love the fact that you do this. We didn't even get around to the good stuff, but we'll have you back. But in the meantime, Virago, where to go, how to do it real quick.
myvirago.com. That's myvirogo.com. And use the immune code, promo code, and you get 30% off.
Now, there's nothing from Pfizer in this, right?
No, I don't even get a check from those guys.
Excellent. That should be all you need to say. 23 ingredients, not one of them from Pfizer. I'll take 3 bottles. All right, Doc. Thank you very much.
Thanks, and Merry Christmas to all you 560 listeners, and thank you. I'm getting a lot of feedback from you and big support.
Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to you and your beautiful wife. Thank you very much for making time. Thank you. Thank you.
At AlmostFreeTeeth.com, they're dedicated to making smiles great again. If you have medical PPO insurance, find out how you could save 90% off on average to get a beautiful dental implant-supported smile. Check if you qualify right now at AlmostFreeTeeth.com.
Dan Proft here to tell you about our 2025 Food for the Poor campaign. If you've listened to this station and to our show for any length of time, then you already know about Food for the Poor. They are a nonprofit, faith-based organization that provides food, water, medicine, clothing, and life-saving supplies directly to local partners in Latin America and the Caribbean. We all know about how bad the situation is in Latin America and the Caribbean right now. Economic decline, political instability and corruption, and high food prices. The only thing standing between these families and starvation is Food for the Poor and their partners who are providing life-saving food relief on the ground. But in order to get food and water to those who need it most, Food for the Poor needs your help. Your gift of just $150 can provide food and water for 2 children for an entire year. For a gift of $300, you can provide food and water for 4 children for an entire year. To make a gift of any amount, just call 844-862-4673. That's 844-862-4673. Or visit 560theanswer.com/foodforthepoor. And if you are a small business owner or you make the marketing or advertising decisions for a business, then you need to become a business benefactor. Just make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you. Lock in your 2026 marketing now at this incredible price. It really is the best deal in all of Chicago radio. You'll join a long list of businesses who are reaching AM 560's audience of affluent decision makers. And through the generosity of your business, you'll also be helping more than 30 children for a year. To take advantage of this deal, just call John Gallagher at 847-472-8950. Again, 847-472-8950. That number, one more time, 847-472-8950, or go to 560theanswer.com/foodforthepoor. That website again, 560theanswer.com/foodforthepoor.
You need a construction company, but who?
Call Crosscom.
A construction company you can trust that shares your Christian and conservative values. For decades, Crosscom has been doing work in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin. Roofs, siding, windows, doors, gutters, basically everything for your home or business, even solar. Quality work and professional services that make you feel great about your decision to work with Crosscom.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. Give them a chance to earn your business. If your repairs are due to storm, fire, or flood damage, you need to
call Crosscom.
They're licensed public adjusters. They work for you, not the insurance company. Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout. They know the insurance companies and how to deal with them. They win for you.
Call Crosscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters.
This is Dan Lights with Crosscom. You can trust us with your home or business for high-quality work and fair prices. It's the only way we do business.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
82 million Americans rely on AM radio for news, sports, talk, and emergency alerts. But unless Congress acts now, AM could disappear from new cars. Tell lawmakers AM radio matters to you. Text AM to 39179 and urge Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act before it's too late.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Very smart man once said to me, numbers don't lie, people do. You know which people don't lie? The ones who keep saying, look at the numbers. For 30 years, my next guest has been saying, look at the numbers when it comes to technical trade, cash equities, commodities, financial products in 3 main continents. We'll be joined by Scott the Cow Guy Shalaty after Foxweiser.
That's your battleship.
I'm John Saucier, Fox News. President Trump announcing the design and construction of what's to be called the Golden Fleet, a series of warships officially named Trump class. It'll start with the Navy beginning to build 2 brand new battleships.
Each one of these